You know, sometimes we hold on so tightly to the things we think we need, a plan, a person, a dream that once made sense. And then life, in its quiet, mysterious way, starts to loosen our grip. At first, we fight it. We try to fix it, to make it stay, to bring it back to how it used to be. But somewhere deep down, we know maybe this moment is not about holding on. Maybe it's about learning how to let go. Because that's when real peace begins. Not when everything finally makes sense, but when we stop needing it to. If you're someone who's walking through change right now, or maybe feeling lost between what was and what's next, I want to say this: you're not alone. These moments, as heavy as they feel, are not here to punish you. They're here to open you. Sometimes life has to take away what's familiar so that you can remember who you truly are. So take a deep breath with me and let's walk through this together. If you find comfort in these gentle talks, consider subscribing. It helps me keep sharing little moments of peace like this from my heart to yours. You see, letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you forget. It simply means you're ready to stop carrying what's too heavy to hold. Maybe you've been replaying old conversations, wondering what you could have said differently. Or maybe you're still waiting for someone to come back, or for life to go back to normal. But maybe, just maybe, peace isn't waiting out there somewhere. Maybe it's quietly waiting here, inside you right now, the moment you stop fighting what is. When I first learned this, I didn't believe it. I thought peace came after I fixed everything, after I found the answers. But the truth is, peace showed up when I stopped needing answers. It came when I allowed the pain to soften instead of trying to push it away. It came in the small, quiet spaces, like early mornings when the world was still, or late nights when I whispered to myself, "It's okay. You're doing the best you can." And maybe that's what you need to hear tonight. That it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not have everything figured out. Life doesn't ask you to be perfect. It just asks you to be present. Sometimes healing isn't loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's a slow, gentle unfolding. One breath, one small act of trust at a time. When you let go, you make space. Space for new things to grow, for peace to enter, for love to return in new shapes you couldn't have imagined before. You begin to see that everything you've lost has led you closer to what truly matters. Maybe this chapter is not about fixing your life. Maybe it's about finding stillness within it. So tonight, as you listen, maybe close your eyes. Feel your breath. Let it slow you down. The mind will try to rush, to solve, to label, to fear. But your soul, your true self, it just wants a rest for a moment. Let it. You've carried enough. Let go, not with force, but with tenderness. Whisper to yourself, "I release what no longer serves me. I trust that what's meant for me will stay." And if this message finds you in a quiet corner of your day, know that it's meant for you. Life is not asking you to understand everything. It's just asking you to trust the next step, even if it's small, even if it's uncertain. Because the moment you stop fighting life, that's the moment it begins to carry you gently forward. If these words feel like a hand on your heart, like a little reminder that you're not walking this path alone, then I'd love for you to stay a while. Subscribe. Share a bit of this peace with someone who might need it too. Because maybe, just maybe, when we all learn to let go together, we'll finally remember what it means to be free. When you finally begin to let go, something subtle shifts inside you. It's not loud, not dramatic. It's quiet, like the soft sound of the ocean when the tide turns. You may not notice it right away, but slowly you begin to breathe a little easier. The heaviness starts to lift. You catch yourself smiling again, even for no reason. And that's when you realize life has been waiting for you to trust it again. Trust, it's such a simple word, but it feels so fragile when you've been hurt. When things haven't gone the way you hoped, it's natural to close up to protect yourself. You start thinking, if I don't expect much, maybe I won't be disappointed again. But here's the truth. Trust isn't about expecting everything to go your way. It's about believing that even when things don't, you'll still be okay. That somehow life is not working against you. It's working through you. I remember a time when I lost something I thought I couldn't live without. My mind was full of questions. Why me? Why now? What did I do wrong? I searched for meaning in the chaos, but no answer ever felt enough. Then one night, sitting alone with that silence, I heard a quiet thought rise up. What if this isn't the end? What if this is the beginning of something you can't see yet? That one thought changed everything. It didn't fix my pain, but it gave it purpose. Maybe that's where you are now, standing between what's gone and what's coming, not sure which way to go. But maybe you don't have to go anywhere right now. Maybe this is your season to just trust the stillness, because sometimes the pause isn't a punishment, it's preparation. Maybe life is slowing you down because it's about to lead you somewhere softer, somewhere truer. You see, trusting life again isn't about pretending everything's fine. It's about learning to open your heart again, even after it's been broken. It's about saying, yes, I've been hurt, but I'm still here. I still believe in the goodness of life. That kind of trust is brave. It's quiet courage, the kind that rebuilds you from the inside out. And little by little, things start to change. The mornings don't feel as heavy. You begin to notice the small blessings again. The warmth of sunlight on your skin, the sound of laughter from a stranger, the simple peace of a slow cup of coffee. You realize these tiny moments are life whispering. See, I never left you. Maybe that's what real trust looks like. Not demanding answers, but choosing peace even without them. Letting life unfold instead of trying to control it. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? And when you do that, life begins to open up in ways you never imagined. So tonight, if you're listening and your heart feels tired, I want you to take a deep breath. Let the air fill your lungs and remind yourself it's okay to rest. It's okay to let life move at its own rhythm. You don't have to rush your healing. You don't have to figure everything out right now. Maybe just trust that you're exactly where you need to be. And if these words speak to you, if they remind you of something you've quietly known all along, I'd love for you to stay connected. Subscribe. Share a bit of this calm with someone who might need it too. Because the more we remind each other to trust again, the lighter this world becomes. Once you start to trust life again, something inside you softens. You stop clinging so tightly to what's next, and for the first time in a long while, you begin to live. Not just survive, not just wait for better days, but really live. You start noticing how the sunlight falls differently in the morning, how the breeze feels gentle on your skin, how even silence has a kind of music in it. It's strange, isn't it? How peace doesn't come when you finally control everything, but when you finally stop needing to. You begin to understand that freedom isn't about escaping your past or fixing your future. It's about being here, fully with everything as it is. You start to see that the people who left taught you about love, the pain that broke you taught you about strength, and the losses you fear the most actually made space for something more real to grow. It doesn't mean the pain disappears. It just means it no longer defines you. It becomes part of your story, but not the whole story. You wake up one morning and realize that you don't need everything to be perfect to feel grateful. You don't need to have all the answers to feel at peace. You just need to breathe, to notice, to be. Maybe that's a secret. Maybe peace was never something to find. Maybe it was something to remember. And as you move through your days, you start meeting life with a kind of quiet acceptance. Things don't bother you as much. You stop rushing, stop comparing, stop trying to prove anything. You begin to understand that what's meant for you doesn't need to be chased. It will find you when you're ready. That's what trust becomes now. Not a belief that life will always be easy, but a deep knowing that no matter what happens, you'll meet it with peace. Some days will still feel heavy, of course. You'll still get lost in thought, still fall back into old fears. But even then, you'll know how to come home, to your breath, to your heart, to this gentle awareness that says, you're safe now. Because you are. You've made it through the storms that once scared you, and you're learning to dance in the calm that follows. And maybe that's what living freely really means. Not living without pain, but living without resistance. To let life move through you instead of around you. To say, yes, even to the parts you don't yet understand. To forgive, to breathe, to keep your heart open again and again. So if tonight you're listening to this, maybe sitting quietly, maybe feeling that soft ache in your chest, I want you to know this. You're doing just fine. You've grown in ways you can't even see yet. You're learning to live lightly, and that's something to be proud of. Let the past be what it was. Let the future be what it will be. And let this moment, this beautiful, imperfect, ordinary moment, be enough. And if these gentle talks bring you a little peace, if they help you breathe softer, I'd love for you to stay close. Subscribe. Share this space with someone who might need a quiet reminder that peace isn't somewhere far away. It's right here, waiting every time you choose to let go and simply be. When life gets noisy again, and it will, the real practice begins. Peace isn't something you find once and keep forever. It's something you return to again and again, like coming home after a long day. You might wake up one morning and feel that old weight creeping back in, the worry, the overthinking, the rush of what-ifs. And that's okay. It doesn't mean you've lost your peace. It just means you're human. It means life is moving, and you're still learning how to move with it. In those moments, don't fight the chaos. Don't tell yourself you failed. Instead, pause. Take a breath. Feel your feet on the ground. The mind loves to spin stories, but your breath, it always tells the truth. It says, you're here. You're safe. You can start again. That's what peace really is. The quiet courage to start again, no matter how many times you forget. Maybe you'll find it in small things. Washing dishes slowly, watching the sky change color, feeling the warmth of tea in your hands. These simple moments are sacred if you let them be. They pull you back to now, to the only place peace has ever lived. You'll start to notice that chaos can swirl all around you, and still, there's a calm center inside you that doesn't move. That's your home. That's your truth. Some days, you'll need reminders, a walk, a prayer, a favorite song, maybe even this voice in your ear. That's why we keep these gentle talks going. Because peace isn't something you master. It's something you practice. Every day, in small ways, you choose softness over control, patience over panic, faith over fear. And slowly, that choice shapes your life into something steady, something kind. You'll realize you don't have to fix the storm to feel calm. You just have to stop standing in the rain trying to push it away. Let it come. Let it pass. Everything changes, but your awareness, that quiet space inside, it stays. The more you return to it, the stronger it becomes. And maybe that's what real strength is. Not being unshakable, but being able to shake and still return to peace. being able to cry and still trust that the sun will rise, being able to say, I don't know what's next, and still smile because you know that whatever it is, you'll meet it with love. So when life feels too loud, don't look for control. Look for stillness. Sit for a moment. Breathe. Place a hand on your heart and whisper to yourself, I'm right here. That's enough. You've done enough. You are enough. And if this message helps you find your way back to that calm place, I'd love for you to stay with me on this journey. Subscribe, breathe with me through the next storm, and let's keep reminding each other that peace was never lost. It just waits quietly beneath the noise, ready to return every time you remember who you are. There comes a time when the peace you found inside you starts to overflow, not in grand gestures, but in quiet ways. You begin to speak softer, listen longer, forgive faster. You no longer need to prove yourself because you've learned that peace isn't something others can give or take away. It's something you carry. And when you carry it gently, the world around you begins to soften too. Maybe someone you love is still struggling, still lost in their storm. You want to help, to pull them out, to fix it. But you've learned something now. You can't pour peace into someone who isn't ready to receive it. What you can do is live it, be it. Let your calm become the reminder they didn't know they needed. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for another soul is to hold your light steady while they find their own way through the dark. You don't have to preach. You don't have to convince. Just your presence, your quiet steadiness, becomes a message stronger than words. The way you breathe before reacting, the way you smile instead of rushing, the way you choose compassion instead of control. That's how peace spreads. Not through talking about it, but through becoming it. There will be moments when your calm feels tested. Someone will misunderstand you, challenge you, or try to pull you back into old patterns. And that's okay. Remember, you don't need to win the argument. You just need to keep your peace. Protect it gently. It's not a wall, it's a garden. You tend it by resting, by saying no when you need to, by walking away when it costs too much of your soul to stay. When you move through life with this kind of grounded peace, people will feel it, even if they can't explain why. You'll notice strangers relax around you. Conversations become kinder. Even silence feels lighter. That's the quiet impact of a peaceful heart. It doesn't demand attention. It simply changes the room. And maybe that's your calling now. Not to save the world, but to soften it. One breath, one act of love at a time. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more calm. It needs people like you who have walked through pain, learned to trust again, and now carry peace like a lantern for others to see by. So as you listen to this, maybe close your eyes for a moment and think of someone who could use a bit of calm. Not to fix them, not to change them, just to silently send them peace. A quiet wish from your heart to theirs. Because that's how it works. What you give, you keep. The peace you share only grows. And if these words remind you the beauty of that gentle power inside you, I'd love for you to stay here with me. Subscribe. Keep walking this path of stillness together. Because when even one person chooses peace, the world becomes a little softer. And when many do, maybe that's how healing truly begins. It happens slowly, almost without you noticing. One day you realize that the things that used to shake you don't hold the same power anymore. The noise of the world, the small disappointments, the unpredictable turns, they still come, but they no longer pull you under. You built something deep inside now, something steady. It's not that life got easier. It's that you got gentler. You learn how to flow with it instead of fighting against it. Peace starts to weave itself through the corners of your life. You see it in the way you wake up in the morning, not rushing, just breathing, in the way you pause before reacting, letting understanding arrive before words. You start to notice the small things again, the warmth of sunlight spilling through your window, the sound of laughter in another room, the quiet relief of knowing you don't have to chase anything anymore. You're not behind. You're not late. You're right where you're meant to be. And the people around you begin to feel it. They can't always describe it, but there's something different about you, a softness, a presence, a sense that you're not fighting life anymore. You're simply with it. You've learned that everything that happens, even the painful things, can serve you if you let it, not because suffering is noble, but because your heart has learned how to stay open through it all. That's real transformation. There's a moment when you realize that peace isn't the absence of chaos. It's the quiet confidence that you'll be okay no matter what. You stop waiting for perfect conditions because you've learned how to find calm even in imperfection. You stop searching for happiness as a destination and start living it as a moment-to-moment choice. That's when peace stops being something you practice and becomes something you are. And still, life keeps teaching you. You'll face new challenges, new losses, new uncertainties. But they won't break you. They'll deepen you. They'll remind you that peace is not fragile. It's resilient, like a river that bends but never stops flowing. Your heart knows how to keep moving, no matter what the landscape becomes. Sometimes people will ask, "How do you stay so calm?" And you'll smile, not because you have all the answers, but because you finally stopped needing them. You'll say something simple like, "I just try to trust life." And you'll mean it, because you've seen what happens when you do, how even the hardest endings make space for something more beautiful to begin. So if you're listening to this and wondering if peace is really possible for you, it is. Not someday, not when everything's fixed, but right now in this breath. All you have to do is pause, soften, and allow. Life has been trying to love you this whole time. All you ever had to do was let it. And if these words remind you of that truth, if they help you return to that soft, steady place within, then I hope you'll stay connected. Subscribe. Share this with someone who might need to remember that peace isn't out there waiting. It's here, quietly unfolding inside you, one breath at a time, one day at a time, until it becomes the way you live. When new challenges appear, it's easy to feel that old tightening in your chest again, that quiet fear whispering, "What if I can't handle this?" You pause, take a deep breath, and realize something's different now. You don't run from the fear anymore. You meet it. You look it in the eye, and with a calm voice you say, "Maybe I don't know how this will turn out, but I know I'll be okay." Because you've walked this road before. You've been through endings, through storms, through the ache of not knowing, and still you're here, still breathing, still soft, still open. Keeping your heart open doesn't mean pretending everything's easy. It means you allow life to move through you. Joy, loss, confusion, beauty, all of it. You don't push it away. You don't cling to it. You just let it be what it is. You've learned that everything passes, that every emotion, no matter how strong, has its own rhythm. When you let it flow, it teaches you something, then gently moves on. That's how your heart stays light, not by closing, but by staying spacious enough to hold it all. And somewhere in the middle of it, gratitude appears. Not the loud kind that shouts about blessings, but the quiet kind that simply notices. Gratitude for the morning light, for a voice on the phone, for the way time slowly heals what once felt unbearable. You begin to see that even the hard days bring gifts, maybe a deeper strength, a softer compassion, a clearer understanding of what truly matters. Gratitude becomes your way of saying yes to life, even when it's imperfect, especially when it's imperfect. Some days you'll feel strong and certain. Other days, fragile and unsure. That's okay. The heart that stays open will always feel deeply. That's its nature. But instead of being afraid of that, you begin to see the beauty in it. To feel means you're alive. It means you're still capable of loving, still willing to show up for life as it is, not as you wish it were. That's real courage. To stay soft in a world that can be hard. And when gratitude becomes your default, life begins to look different. You stop asking, why me? And start whispering, thank you. Thank you for the lesson, for the reminder, for the strength I didn't know I had. You begin to trust that even in the hardest moments, life is still giving, still shaping you into someone more grounded, more awake, more kind. So when the next challenge comes, and it will, don't close off, don't armor up, just pause, breathe. Remember everything you've already overcome. You've grown roots now, quiet, unseen, but strong. The winds can come and you'll bend, but you won't break. You'll keep trusting, keep softening, keep choosing love over fear. And if these words help you remember that, if they make your heart feel just a little lighter, stay here with me. Subscribe, and let's keep walking this gentle road together. Because the more we choose to stay open, the more light we bring into this world. One heart at a time, one breath at a time, until love becomes the way we live. You know, love changes when peace takes root inside you. It's no longer the kind of love that tries to hold, to fix, or to prove something. It becomes quiet, like sunlight through the trees, gentle but steady. You stop chasing it, stop begging for it, stop measuring it. You simply become it. When you finally let go of the chaos inside, love begins to flow from you naturally, without effort. It's not something you do anymore. It's who you are. There was a time when I thought love meant giving everything, even when it hurt. I thought love was sacrifice, to hold on, to fight for people who didn't want to stay, to bend myself into whatever shape kept the peace. But I was wrong. Real love doesn't drain you. It restores you. It's not a transaction. It's a quiet recognition. I see you and I wish you well, even if our paths part. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let someone go without resentment. It's not coldness. It's wisdom. It's trust that love doesn't end just because the story changes. When you begin to live from peace, you stop needing to be loved in a certain way. You stop testing, comparing, keeping score. Instead, you learn to love from fullness, not from lack. You realize you can't lose something that was never meant to stay. You can't force connection where hearts are not aligned. But you can bless it, thank it, and release it with grace. And that release becomes your freedom. Maybe you felt it too. That ache when someone you care for drifted away, or when love didn't look the way you hoped. It's okay to grieve it. But when the tears dry, something remains. The lesson, that love isn't about ownership. It's about presence. When you can love someone and still let them go, that's the highest form of love. It's saying, I want your happiness, even if it's not with me. That kind of love doesn't break your heart. It expands it. And you begin to notice love in smaller things. The way a stranger smiles at you on a rough day. The way your pet waits at the door. The softness of evening light on your face. These are the quiet whispers of love that remind you you were never unloved. You were simply learning to love differently, more purely, more freely. Buddhist wisdom often points to this truth. When you stop clinging, love becomes unconditional. But you don't have to call it Buddhism to feel it. You just have to sit with yourself long enough to see that the love you've been searching for outside has always been waiting inside. When you treat yourself gently, when you forgive your own mistakes, When you speak to yourself with kindness, that's where it begins. From there, every other kind of love grows naturally. And I want to tell you this. It's okay to start again, to open your heart even after it's been hurt, to trust again, slowly, tenderly. You don't have to rush it. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means loving again without fear. Because when your heart heals, it becomes wiser. It knows how to stay open and soft without losing itself. So maybe tonight, before you sleep, place your hand over your heart and whisper, "I'm still learning to love, but I'm getting there." That's enough. Because love doesn't demand perfection. It asks for presence. It asks for honesty. It asks for you to show up just as you are. If you've been walking with me through this journey, through letting go, through peace, through rediscovering love, thank you. You're not alone in this. And if these words speak to you, maybe you'd like to stay a while. Subscribe so we can keep sharing this space. One breath, one story, one gentle reminder at a time. Because sometimes all it takes to change your day, maybe even your life, is a soft voice reminding you that peace and love were never gone. They were simply waiting for you to come home. There's a quiet shift that happens when love turns into compassion. It's like the heart grows wider, softer, more open to the world. You stop seeing people through the lens of judgment or expectation, and you start feeling this gentle understanding that everyone is just trying to make it through their own storms. You look at someone who's angry, and instead of reacting, you find yourself thinking, maybe they're just hurting. You see someone distant or cold, and instead of closing off, you whisper inside, maybe they just forgot how to trust. Compassion doesn't excuse behavior. It simply understands that pain often hides behind it. When you live from compassion, you begin to forgive more easily, not because others always deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Holding grudges starts to feel heavy. Blame loses its taste. And instead of trying to win arguments, you start choosing calm. You start realizing that understanding someone doesn't mean agreeing with them. It just means you're choosing not to carry their pain as your own. I remember hearing once that compassion is like the sun. It shines on everything without asking who's worthy of its light. And maybe that's what we're all learning to be. To shine without conditions. To love without reason. To give without needing anything back. Not because we're saints, but because we've finally seen that this kind of giving is freedom. And it's strange, isn't it? The more you open your heart, the less fragile it becomes. The softer you get, the stronger you feel. Compassion doesn't make you weak. It roots you deeper. It teaches you to face life with both courage and tenderness. You stop being afraid of getting hurt because you're no longer trying to control the world. You're simply learning to move with it, to breathe through it. Maybe compassion is the bridge between our hearts. When you walk across it, you stop feeling separate. You see that the same longing that beats inside you to be understood, to be safe, to be loved, is inside everyone else too. And when you see that, how can you not soften? How can you not care? So if you can today, try this. When someone crosses your path, pause for a moment. Look at them. Really look. Maybe they're struggling silently. Maybe they just need someone to see them without judgment. A smile, a small act of kindness, a quiet prayer in your mind. It can mean more than you think. You never know whose heart might be holding on by a thread. And when you start giving compassion like that, freely, gently, quietly, something miraculous happens. The world begins to feel less harsh. Life feels lighter. You feel lighter. Because every time you give compassion, a part of it returns to you. It's like the universe saying, I see your heart keep shining. So let's keep walking this path together, learning, softening, forgiving. If these words feel like they belong to you somehow, maybe subscribe, stay close. This little space here isn't about perfect wisdom or big answers. It's about reminders that you are seen, that you are growing, that compassion is already blooming in you. There comes a moment when compassion quietly evolves into something deeper, acceptance. It's that gentle breath after the storm when you stop asking why and simply whisper, "So this is how it is." It's not resignation, not giving up. It's more like surrender, a peaceful nod to the rhythm of life that keeps moving, with or without your approval. When you reach that place, you stop fighting what's already happened. You stop arguing with the past. You stop trying to rewrite stories that have already ended. And in that stillness, something shifts inside. You begin to feel free. Acceptance is not about liking everything that's happened to you. It's about making peace with the fact that it did. It's about saying, yes, this too belongs. The loss, the heartbreak, the mistakes, the missed chances, they all had a place in shaping who you are right now. And maybe, just maybe, this version of you, softer, humbler, wiser, couldn't have existed without all of that. So you stop wishing the pain away and start thanking it for what it taught you. You realize that peace was never hiding in a perfect life. It was always waiting in the imperfect one. The moment you stop demanding that life be fair or easy, you start seeing its quiet beauty again. The morning light feels different. The air feels lighter. You begin to see meaning in moments you once overlooked. The sound of rain, the laughter of a friend, the calm in your own breath. Acceptance opens your eyes to everything that's still good, still kind, still sacred. And it's okay if you're not fully there yet. Some days acceptance feels impossible. Some wounds take longer to make peace with. That's okay. Healing isn't a straight line. It's a slow unwinding. But each time you choose not to fight what is, you come a little closer to peace. You begin to trust life again, not because it's predictable, but because you finally see that you can handle whatever it brings. There's something profoundly spiritual in that trust. It's like standing at the edge of the unknown and saying, I don't know what's next, but I'll meet it with an open heart. That's courage. That's grace. That's the moment when fear loses its grip. You don't need every answer anymore. You don't need to fix everything. You just need to keep showing up, breathing, listening, living. And maybe that's the real secret to peace. It's not about controlling life. It's about learning to dance with it, to move gently with its rhythm, even when you don't understand the steps. The Buddha once said, when you realize how perfect everything is, you will tilt your head back and laugh at the sky. Maybe perfection doesn't mean the absence of pain. Maybe it means seeing that even pain has a purpose. So wherever you are right now, confused, healing, learning, trying again, let that be enough. You're already doing the work. You're already on the path. And every breath, every moment of surrender brings you a little closer to the peace you've been searching for all along. If these words speak to you, if they make you feel just a little lighter, stay here with me. Subscribe, and let's keep walking together. Slowly, gently, one breath at a time. Because peace isn't something you chase. It's something you remember. And maybe, just maybe, you're remembering it right now. There's a soft joy that begins to rise when you've lived long enough in acceptance. It doesn't shout or sparkle. It hums quietly inside you, like a steady heartbeat. You wake up one morning and realize the weight you used to carry just isn't as heavy anymore. You don't need everything to be perfect to feel at peace. You don't need everyone to understand you. You don't even need life to go your way. You just need this breath, this sunrise, this ordinary miraculous moment, that's when joy returns. Not the kind that depends on what's happening outside, but the kind that grows from a calm, steady heart that finally knows how to rest. You start to laugh again, but it's different now. Softer, fuller, real. You find beauty in simple things. The smell of rain, the way the wind moves through the trees, a cup of warm tea between your hands. Nothing has changed, yet everything has. Because you've changed. You see now that peace isn't the absence of storms. It's learning to stand in the rain and smile anyway. And this joy, it doesn't come from escape. It comes from presence. From being here, truly here, not running from yesterday or chasing tomorrow. You learn to meet life where it is, to meet yourself where you are. You stop asking, when will I be happy? And start whispering, I already am. That's the quiet revolution of the soul. Sometimes people think joy is a reward, that it comes after the struggle, after the healing, after they've fixed themselves. But no, joy isn't a finish line. It's a companion that walks beside you the moment you start letting go. It's there in the small pauses, in the moments when you're simply breathing and realizing you're okay. You may not have everything figured out, but for the first time in a long time, you feel whole. And maybe that's what all this has been leading to, not perfection, not enlightenment, but wholeness. A deep, quiet wholeness that doesn't need to prove or defend itself. You can still cry, still stumble, still feel uncertain. But even then, there's a calm underneath it all, a stillness that whispers, you are safe, you are home. This is the peace that Buddhist wisdom points to, though it's not owned by any religion. It's the peace that every human heart longs for, the kind that doesn't come from answers, but from acceptance, from knowing that this moment, right here, is enough, that you are enough. So if you're listening to this right now, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for walking through all these parts with me. Thank you for staying when things got heavy, for breathing through the words, for letting them touch something inside you. Because maybe that's what we're all doing here, helping each other remember what peace feels like. If this journey has meant something to you, I'd love for you to stay connected. Subscribe, so we can keep sharing these quiet spaces together. Moments of reflection, warmth, and gentle reminders that healing doesn't have to be loud to be real. Maybe next time, we'll talk about the kind of joy that flows outward, how peace in you becomes peace in the world. Until then, take a slow breath. Feel your heart. It's still beating, still learning, still loving. And maybe, just maybe, that's all the proof you need that life, even after everything is still beautiful.